Before 2009, if you wanted to find a specific U.S. accounting rule, you might have had to dig through FASB statements, EITF abstracts, AICPA pronouncements, and a half dozen other sources. All of this written in different decades, and sometimes these contradicted each other. It was a bit of a hot mess. So in 2009, the FASB completed a massive project to pull every single piece of authoritative U.S. GAAP into one organized searchable place called the Accounting Standards Codification, or ASC, and that is what we're exploring today. By the end of this video, you should be able to look up any rule in U.S. GAAP and do it fast. The codification is organized in a strict hierarchy, kind of like a postal address. Just like an address narrows you down from state to city to street to house number, the ASC narrows you down from topics to subtopics to sections and finally to individual paragraphs. The actual language of the rules is found in the paragraphs, but you have to understand how to navigate the higher levels of the structure to find what you're looking for. Let's talk about each of these parts in turn. At the top level, we really have 9 areas, as they are grouped by what kind of guidance they hold. The 100s are general principles. The 200s cover presentation, which is about how information is displayed on the face of the financial statements. For example, how to format an income statement. The 300s through 700s are the meat of the codification, and they are organized by financial statement element. So 300s are assets, 400s are liabilities, 500s are equity, and so forth. Then we get to the 800s, which cover broad transactions, like business combinations and leases, the kind of activity that touches multiple accounts at once. And the 900s are industry-specific guidance, with separate rules for industries like real estate, healthcare, and entertainment, where the standard rules need a little bit more customization. Within each area sit topics, which are identified by a 3-digit number. So topic 305 deals with the accounting for cash and cash equivalents, obviously an asset account. ASC topic 740 deals with the accounting for income taxes, as this guidance relates to a company's income tax expense. The next level down is subtopics. Every topic has a default subtopic, number 10, labeled overall, which is the general guidance for that topic. Some topics are sufficiently broad and complex, such that additional subtopics are broken out, but those tend to be relatively less common. For this class, here's the rule of thumb. We are only ever going to focus on subtopic 10. Whenever you are working on an ASC citation, you can always bank on using the number 10 for your subtopic. Now to a more interesting part of the hierarchy, sections. Sections are the 6th and 7th digit of any ASC citation, and they tell you what type of guidance you are looking at within a topic. On the screen, you can see the full standardized list of section categories. Essentially, these are telling you what you'll specifically learn about within a given topic. And the standardization means that a given section number refers to the same thing across all topics. Section 50 is always disclosure, whether you're reading the topic for inventory, leases, or revenue. Section 25 is always recognition. Section 35 is always subsequent measurement. So once you learn these sections, you can navigate any topic in the codification, even ones you haven't seen before, because you already know what kind of guidance lives at each section. Now, I don't actually want you to memorize the numbers associated with each section. However, I do want you to commit to memory the meaning behind the following 6 sections. In fact, you might want to get out a piece of paper and jot some of these down as you're watching. First, we have scope and scope exceptions, which tells you which transactions and situations the rules actually apply to, as well as which situations are excluded. Recognition tells you whether a transaction should be recorded and when. Initial measurement tells you how much should be recorded during the initial stage of a transaction. Accordingly, subsequent measurement tells you how that amount should be updated over time. Next, we've got other presentation matters. Remember, the word presentation tends to refer to the financial statements. So this section tells you where and how items should appear on the financials. Lastly, disclosure, which tells you what has to be included in the footnotes. So one more time, I'm not asking you to memorize the numbers, but I am asking you to learn what each of these section categories mean, as this is all terminology you'll want to be familiar with in this class and beyond. Now let's actually practice with the real thing. Feel free to pause the video right now so you can navigate to asc.fasb.org. After you accept the license agreement, you should see a screen like this. And there are really two ways to navigate. If you already know the citation you want, you can type it in this top left-hand box and click Go To, and it will jump straight there. However, if you are exploring, you can click through the hierarchy on the left-hand side and drill down from area to topic to subtopic to section. Follow along with me on the next two examples. First, suppose you want to know how the value of inventory must be adjusted after it was purchased. Could we find the specific 7-digit codification citation that would give us more information about that issue? So, walk it through with me. What account are we trying to research? Inventory, which we know is an asset account. So I click Assets, and then I can identify inventory as topic 330, the first 3 digits of our citation. After clicking it, I can see that there is only one subtopic here, 10. But we would use it anyway by default in this class, right? And then lastly, what section? We are trying to learn more about adjusting the value of inventory over time, and that refers to subsequent measurement, section 35. So put it all together, and the 7-digit citation is 330-10-35. After clicking on this section, we are presented with the general guidance, and we can dig in for a little bit to learn. In paragraph 1a, we first learn that how you handle the subsequent measurement of inventory depends on which cost flow assumption you've used. In other words, you'll do something different if you've used LIFO versus FIFO to cost your inventory as it was purchased or produced. In paragraph 1b, it continues to say that if you've used FIFO or average cost, you have to apply the lower of cost and net realizable value rule at the end of each period. It further illustrates that you might potentially have to write down your inventory for a variety of reasons, such as damage, obsolescence, or just changes in prices. We could keep scrolling down to keep learning about any other required adjustments to inventory values after the initial measurement. Let's try another example. So example 2. Now you want to know what has to be disclosed in the footnotes regarding income tax expense. If you're feeling confident, I would recommend that you pause the video right now to try to do this one on your own. So going back to the home screen of the codification, I need to first identify which area income tax expense will be listed under. And having reviewed all these, I'm going to look under expenses, and then I can find income taxes, which is topic 740. Here we can see that there are 3 different subtopics. Maybe this is an indication that income tax accounting has sufficient complexity to warrant the additional guidance. But we know the drill in this class. I am just going to focus on subtopic 10 for now. What section do I select? The rules surrounding footnote disclosures can be found in section 50. So the citation would be 740-10-50, the same exact process like we followed before. And overall, this is the FASB Accounting Standards Codification, a clean hierarchy from broad topics down to individual paragraphs. The more you practice navigating it, the more confident you will feel in searching for and finding US GAAP for any topic you come across in the future.